look, I wanted to have Kick Clips on for a while, for a long time. I personally have learned a lot from Kick Clips in terms of the world of clipping, in terms of the world of IRL content, in terms of the world of like the soap opera that is in IRL streaming. I've learned just so much from Kick Clips. And then currently you're undergoing a rebrand, right? So tell us
Yeah, true.
tell us what's going on with that, man, because I got two names in your title, and tell me the strategy that you're doing with your rebrand.
So I know it's kind of confusing to people, but like on Kick, it's okay. Everyone knows me as Kick Clips. YouTube as well, where I started, Kick Clips perfectly fine. But where I have the problem is on Twitter. On Twitter, I wanted to expand. I wanted to start posting clips of Kai, clips of AMP, clips of Speed. Like I was even approached by Kai Sanat's like people to join their clipping, like to clip under that brand. And I can't do that as Kick Clips because when I post it, people say to me, "What is this Kick guy posting Kai?" You understand? Like I need to break that. You understand? So I decided to just rebrand the Twitter account, but I didn't touch like the other stuff because people know it's maintaining. So I just split those brands. You get me? Maybe one day everything would change under one name, but for now, they both serve like different purposes. Things like that.
So it's funny you say that because you sound what I love about you also, man, is like you approach this like streaming, right? So you're one of the few clippers that I've seen that streams on a platform. Usually clippers just live, you know, editing, posting, pushing certain narratives and you know with groups that they work with. Like what made you decide to just start streaming and creating your own content on top of clipping?
Because like I was also a fan of this guy called. He's already on Kick as well. You guys got him. His name is Nux. He's a VTuber, but he's also a big commentary channel on YouTube. Okay, and he streams here. So I used to watch him for a long time, and I've always wanted to also do commentary, not just doing clips. So that's why I started a YouTube page and I started to take my streams, trim them, make them like condensed, like what Asmongold does, and then upload them on my YouTube every single day. So streaming has allowed me to not just find the best clips and put them out there, but it's also to give my opinions because I'm sitting and watching this stuff for hours every single day. You know, like I have my own opinions on what's going on as well. You know, so and streaming is a good way as well to grow your clipping page. I've had people that came onto my Kick channel or my YouTube channel and then went to Twitter where I need them.
Okay. So one other thing that I also want to talk about clipping is I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and I also definitely want to open it up to you to talk about whatever it is that you want. I think that clipping is dangerously getting linked to journalism or perceived journalism, right? It's almost like it's almost like people take clips that have been clip farmed and then like pass them off as like news or the gospel. And I don't know that people necessarily look at it like entertainment. I don't think a lot of people necessarily understand the nuance that is clipping. Can you explain a little bit about how you view clipping and the strategy around clipping and maybe where it all came from?
I mean, for me personally, there's different kind of clippers. Like there's people that are posting just for a brand. For example, like Neon HQ or Neon Lies, these are people that are in Neon's community that post funny clips of Neon, and their job is to promote Neon consistently. Okay? Then you have people like, for example, Fearbug, where they don't just post clips only, they try to break news, like Drama Alert, for example. Then you also have the people who are just posting stuff to get like rage bait. This also does exist because on Twitter, like rage bait is the fastest way to make a lot of money. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, man, rage bait kind of drives me crazy. And I've kind of gone, I've kind of not subtweeted, directly tweeted on posts and had a couple of maybe 2 or 3 posts like redacted, right? Just taken down because it was just there was a time, and I think you remember this, like, and it still kind of happens sometimes, but every headline started out with Kick streamer does blah blah blah. Kick streamer does blah blah blah, right? And then subsequently no one else was saying YouTube streamer does this or TikToker does this or whatever. It just seemed to be that putting Kick streamer at the head of any rage bait clip would get you maybe 30% more views. So when you look at it from a business sense, it makes a lot of sense to tag it with like Kick streaming, right? So can you talk a little bit about like how do you guys ride the fine line of you want to monetize, you want to get as many eyeballs, so you're going to write a catchy headline, but at the same time, like, where do people draw that line for themselves in writing a salacious headline versus like maybe getting it right?
I'll give you one example right now. So Fusi likes me at the moment because whenever I post his clips, he co-tweets it. So I tried to write a headline that's like a question. Like when he went to the corporation to buy a Lambo, I was like, will Fusi be able to afford this? Whereas other clippers would be like, Fusi is broke, he can't afford this. You see what I'm saying? Like it's like a tongue-in-cheek moment. So like he has the ability to co-tweet it and fire back and say, that's not actually real. Actually, I have the money. Like you there's a line there. You can't make accusations because some people do this. That's dangerous.
But sometimes people like it when you make accusations, right? Sometimes people, because then they start farming you, right? They start saying like, hey, because that's content for Fusi, right? And I hate to use Fusi as an example or whatever else, but you know, a Fusi type would be like, oh man, this clip has got like 270,000 tweets. I'm going to clap back at it and I'm going to create more content. So at some point it becomes like this Shakespeare, soap opera, WWE kind of moment where you're just farming for entertainment.
That is true as well. You do get that. Like when FaZe and Jack Doherty were fighting, the thread was like 14 tweets.
But yeah, so people just start scrolling. And it just becomes entertainment at that point, right? So that's what I'm saying with clipping. It's very interesting as it crosses over into news, it crosses over into gossip, it crosses over into entertainment, it crosses over into sometimes it crosses over into brigading, man. Hey, real quick, I want to take a question from Trader or a comment. He chimes in and says it's important to have viral worthy posts for every single post, or it fucks up your reach on the algorithm. So I think his argument is that they have to keep you. I guess your last post is only as good. Your next post is only as good as your last post, so that it keeps up with an algorithm. Is this true?
This is true because like sometimes you'll see a clipper posting and then he deletes the tweet. If he thinks it's not going to do well, like he gives it an hour, and then after an hour he deletes it.
Wow. So there's a strategy to it. So like if it's not doing the numbers that you want, then you just flat out delete it, rework the headline and pop it back out there, or do you just completely walk away from the story?
It depends. It depends. Some people, as you said, some people recaption it and they post it later. I've seen that before.
All right. That's interesting. And I want to get more into that. Like, so when you start clipping, right? When you start clipping content, like, what are we talking about? What's the strategy here? Do you guys have like 10 monitors open with 5 different streams going on? Like, how are you keeping up with storylines and threads and you know, what's your setup like when you're clipping?
It's much more bigger than just that. So all clippers actually have different groups that they associate with. So like clippers don't work by themselves. They're working like, let's say 50 or 60 channels, 60 Twitter accounts working together. So like, let's say Aiden goes live. In this group, somebody would probably post Aiden's lab. And then at that moment, people are checking what they are posting. And if you're a smart clipper, you don't post what everyone is posting. You find other pieces that other people missed, because that's how yours would do well. If everyone posts, for example, Aiden gives a card to one of the UFC fighters, maybe Fearbuck would do really well, but the other guys would do less. But if they had another funnier moment that Fearbuck didn't post, they get the views. That's how it works. So you have to be careful what you're posting.
Hey guys, we're talking with Kick Clips, rebranded as Recaps on Twitter. If you guys wouldn't mind dropping him a follow, if you're just joining the stream, Kick Clips. I think you were like one of the first clippers on to KCIP. And can you talk a little bit about your journey on Kick? What it's done for you, what your thoughts are, what are the thoughts in the clipping world about Kick? Just want to get some backstory about how you actually got here.
I mean, okay, can I just start? Like, I'll summarize it as fast as possible, right? So this may sound crazy to you, but I started on Discord. I was a person that was just posting clips on Discord, and it was in Johnny Somali's Discord. I know it sounds totally insane. So I was posting clips there, just funny clips when he was getting like in trouble and stuff. And then someone told me, listen, why are you just posting clips in Discord? You ain't gonna make no cash doing that. Why don't you start a YouTube channel? This guy's name was Sea Monster. And then I started to post on YouTube. And I used to watch Ice Poseidon like since the RV days. Like those are like classic streams of Ice Poseidon. So when I started YouTube, I just started summarizing all his streams. So it wouldn't just be one clip. It would be like, I'll take like 2-3 hours and compress it to like 10-20 minutes. And then from there was a guy called Turak, which is in the AR Loyals community. And he was like, why don't you post on X? Why don't you post on Twitter? And then from there, I went to Twitter, and people only know like Fearbuck and Scuba Ryan because these are the biggest accounts under Aiden Ross. But the reason why there's motion on X, why there's so many clippers on X, is a guy named Clipped SCN. I'm sure you guys have seen his clips before. His avatar is green, very big account on X. And this guy created a group of 30 clippers, and he started the motion. Like he used to contact Neon, for example, Aiden, and then he used to get these clippers into deals with those streamers. Like there was a point where Neon had like 15 of us, and he would join that group chat and say, guys, I'm going to be doing this stream today. I want these kinds of clips. And then we all would be clipping exactly like what Neon was asking for.
All right. Okay. So there was a lot there, right? I so many questions. Chat, I'm sure you guys have a ton of questions. We got a lot of people who are just joining. We got April Reed coming in. Cupcake, good to see you. Awesome Sauce XXL, thanks for coming in here. Dr. Junior, thanks for coming in here. Everyone who's just joining, I got Kick Clips. This guy does clipping, but he does a lot more than clipping. He also streams. He also creates content that walks you through the different IRL groups that are out there, like SSB or CX, and he gives you the backstory to a lot of these streamers. Right? He's done a bio on Jack Doherty. He's done a bio on Neon. He's done a bio on Ice Poseidon, where he tracks through their career. So if you ever go to his channel and watch his VODs or go to his YouTube, you'll see all that there. He does a lot more than just clipping. Now, going back to some of the stuff that you were just saying, it sounds like these guys, a lot of big streamers, have their own entourage of clippers that solely watch their show, that solely push out their narratives, and that might just like create the storylines out there. So this sounds like a really well produced machine. It's coincidence when. So it's not like someone clips it and then other people like say, oh, so-and-so posted about Aiden. I'm just going to reclip it. This is a strategic move where all you guys go out uniform, and you guys are in a group and you work specifically sometimes for a specific creator.
I mean, I do believe that, because like Aiden's community does it, Neon's community does it, FaZe does it. The only ones that are like not involved you could say AMP, Duke Dennis, for example. Like he's got just random guys who clip him.
All right. So how much does this extend to not just creators? Like, are companies doing this? Do platforms do this? Do organizations do this to push a certain like political narrative or a certain
No,
agenda?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say like they tell, oh, hey, could you post about Trump? No, it's not like this. But I will say like there's a lot of middlemen. Like if you just post on Twitter, I'm just being honest with everyone here, you make like as much as a cheeseburger for a month. So what people do is they work for Discord servers. When they post a clip on Twitter, it's then pushed through a middleman. It's an actual big company, like for example, Starlight Clippers. And when it goes to that service, the AI can count the views on it, can count the interactions on it. It can tell if it's a real or bot post. And then that is then put onto the creators that are paying Starlight Clipping. So you get your cut from it. If you can understand. So like, let's say Neon says, for this month, I'm doing my 24/7, I'm going to put like $30,000. That $30,000 gets divided by so many clippers.
Got it. So real quick, Spyro Chetty is calling me out. Cough, Steak does it. I guess referring to my question. I want to make it absolutely clear. I do not work for Stake. I do not know anything about crypto casinos. I do not know anything about gambling. I solely work on Kick. It's the only reason why I moved over to Kick from Amazon. So what I want to ask is like, how much is Stake responsible for the tagging of these clips that you are seeing out there? And then subsequently, those turned into community notes. Like I'm seeing more Twitter do community notes on more Stake tag related stuff.
I wouldn't say that, because like KickChamp, he gets commissioned a lot. Like right now, there's two things going on. Yeah, there are some people that are doing community notes if they think something's not real. But I do know there's also people that are community noting clippers that they don't like. For example, KickChamp. I think a lot of people don't like KickChamp, so they just load up as many accounts as they can to community note.
Okay, so I'm not totally familiar with KickChamp, but a lot of people started running with the Kick handle, right? They just started putting Kick in opening up of the accounts. Does Twitch have this kind of community also? Is there a Twitch champ?
Doesn't exist.
Is there a Twitch clip?
Doesn't exist.
So why does this only exist in the world of Kick?
Because Kick does well in the algorithm. You've seen all the YouTubers, right? Like they're still typing Johnny Somali, Kick streamer. They're still doing it because it does really well in the algorithm.
Yeah, we had to correct. Actually, I think it was Deserto the other day. They just came out and they just started saying like, Kick streamer Somalis being held in whatever prison, and it's kind of like, dude, like he hasn't streamed on Kick since April. At that point, it was like 7 months. But the Kick the Kick at the beginning of it does so much for the engagement. And that can be good and that can be bad. I think there's that whole idea that, bad press is still good press. What are your thoughts on what clipping and what that profile for Kick has done for the company? Because I think it's a double-edged sword.
Well, it depends what you want. Like, I think for like, if you're looking for advertisers or other companies to work with Kick, it could be seen in a bad light. But I also think like all press is good press. Because like, you know how many people have grown their social medias just from drama? Look at Drama Alert.
Tell us that, like, what's the backstory on Drama Lord? That's owned by Keemstar, right? Like that's like that's a creator led like clipping account.
I get you, but like when he first started Drama, even on YouTube, it was literally just to get two creators on, throw some dirt like TMZ, and get them to fight. It was literally just like a match. It was an argument match, and he grew a whole brand by doing that. And people love Keemstar.
Yeah, so like when you're overproducing negative content, and it's interesting because I think Elon Musk just tweeted about it yesterday that he's going to switch up his algorithm to start pushing more positive content. I don't know what that means. I don't know what positive content is for him, but I will say this. I think that I could probably not do with the Clippers who share like snuff films, right? Like moments where someone gets executed or shot in the head or murdered in some sort of horrific way. Sometimes like I'll just be strolling through my feed and sometimes that pops up. The other thing is
TOS violation. Like those accounts shouldn't even be on Twitter.
They're everywhere, man. But they're everywhere. So I'm wondering how much. Well, why do you think Elon has pivoted in that direction on X? And is that going to affect what you guys do, considering drama clips do so well?
I mean, you got to be careful. Like, see me, I try to blur things, or I actually like. See, that's the thing. Also, you need to know. Some people just use their smartphone and grab clips from Kick and post that. But like, I tend to sit on my PC, so I actually screen record, and then I will break that clip up if I think there's a dangerous act. I'm trying to protect my Twitter account. I think to my head, do I get 5 million like views on a tweet, or do I lose my whole Twitter account? And then I'm sitting there thinking, how do I start all over again? So I cut that out. Even when I do takeovers, if I post something in takeovers, I clip out the point where maybe somebody got hit or something like this.
All right, cool. So I got Merouser. Good morning, everyone. Daily quote: holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Apparently, that is something that Buddha has said. A quick question for you around that. Should we be walking away from negative content if it's entertainment? I mean, there's a reason why back in the day soap operas did so well, because it was fabricated drama. There's a reason why TMZ does so well. There's a reason why old shows like Inside Edition did so well, because it was all about drama. It's, you know, I could go on and on and on with the tabloid-esque shows that concentrated on drama when I was coming up. Like, I think that this is the same thing. It's just repackaged.
I just think that right now Keemstar launched LOLcow Live, and that thing is getting like 50,000 views. He actually has 3 shows, and that is literally Jerry Springer. That's literally Jerry Springer. So I don't know, I just think like, of course you need to watch the level of it. Like, we don't want to see people getting killed and stuff, as you said, on timelines. But let's say, I'll give you an example. Cheezer making a joke and then a Clipper posting, for example, is Cheezer affiliated to the cartel? Of course, we all know that's not true, but it's drama. And then if you watch Cheezer, he'll pull up that Clippers tweet, and then he will act in a certain way. Like, oh my God, they're ruining my life. He knows what he's doing. He's also feeding into the next clip. You know? Yeah. I mean, like this.
But I think that that's part of the organized, like, script of it all, right? I think that if you guys are all in the same Discord and someone says, hey, I think it'd be really funny to say that you're involved with this cartel nonsense, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna feed into that, right? I mean, it's almost like wrestling. It's almost like WWE, where the ref whispers into the ear of the athletes what their next move is, what the scripting is, what the storyline is. It just gets a little bit more sophisticated. And I think people are just now starting to catch on to the dance, right? So where do you think clipping goes from here, right? Like what's clipping's place in social media or in live streaming space?
I just think it's like you can either watch a whole long stream for like 2-3 hours, or you can watch like 5 clips that, when put together, summarizes the stream.
Okay. So
I guarantee you, I'm just gonna say this right now. If you watch Neon HQ and Neon Lies, you don't need to actually watch Neon. I'm just being honest.
so you just get all your content from. Okay, so then how does Kick take advantage of that, right? Okay, so obviously we don't want that. Like live streaming platforms do not want that to happen. They don't want you to get the cliff notes or the short condensed version off your Twitter feed, right? So in your opinion, how does Kick take advantage of it? Because if there is no Twitch champ or Twitch clips or other people doing this for other platforms, how do we take what is this perceived negative? I don't see it as a negative, by the way. I think that what you guys do is like a distribution. It's like cinemas, right? Like you distribute content, right? But in your opinion, how does Kick take advantage of this unique position that they're in?
I mean, another clip was also asking me about this, which is like, if Kick could have a section for people who have clipped onto Kick. Let's say, for example, Quillians. If I click on his account, his Kick account, he's not a streamer, but I can pull up all the clips that he has clipped, for example. That would cause names to grow inside of Kick that's categorizing all the clips. You wouldn't actually lose it to Twitter. You'd keep everyone here, if you get me. Because I can name at least 6 people I know. If I check anyone's Kick account, they're the same person clipping. Like Quillians, Dwayne, Philly Special, Jaegerov. These are names. Search anyone's Kick channel, you'll see. They're clipping everyone.
Got it. So we got a couple more people in chat. We got a couple comments. RK Stacks is in here. I'm doing my first pools, hot tub, and bikini stream tonight. I hope I get front page. I hope you do too, RK Stacks. Let me see.
Stacks.
Oh, wait. But then we get followed up with W Vagabond, who says verification inbound with that, which I think is hilarious. W Vagabond, it's very good to see you. RK Stacks is very good to see you. W Vagabond, it's weird that you talk about pool streamers. If you go to your channel, if you go to this man's channel right now, he's topless in every single one of his videos. He is probably the epitome of the very thing that RK Stacks is calling out. And I bet if you go to W Vagabond's channel, he might be verified.
Vagabond, you gotta change your category.
You gotta change you gotta put a shirt on, bro. I mean, you can't be going after pools and bikini streamers when your very self are half naked, sir. Maybe that's how he pulls in all those views. But
Vagabond, he has a diehard audience, dude. He's got a diehard audience.
Diehard audience. Yeah. Diehard on it. But here's the thing: W Vagabond can take it, right? What I love about W Vagabond is he can dish it, but he can take it also. That's what I do. Hey, W Vagabond, have you gotten that whole thing situated, man? Like, have you put in an appeal for your KCIP? Just a question. So let's take Vagabond. All right. How often do you clip Vagabond, or what content do you typically go after when we're talking about streamers on?
I do, but listen, I do different things. As I told you, like on Twitter, I focus just on the big streamers. For example, Aiden, Neon, Fusi, Action Man, and then like Kai, Speed, those people, right? But when I do my YouTube channel, I focus on everyone on Kick, whether it's a small streamer, a big streamer, and I make one video. The video could be 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I'm literally just recapping everything that happened on Kick every single day, and that's where Vagabond is. And it's we've built a nice community, because when I put out the video, maybe Vagabond may watch it, maybe Nick White may watch it, Gary may watch it, Deepak may watch it, and then it spreads like this.
All right. So when you're watching people on Kick and you're clipping, what do you look out for? Like, how does someone, because what I see now is I see people in chat who might be thinking, well, if Aiden has a team, I could totally get a team. Or if, I can start to employ this strategy of maybe, hiring an up and coming clipper or an editor to create a couple of handles, start getting my content out there. But, maybe not all clippers want to work with that creator. What do you guys look for if taking on a new creator?
It's pretty much you got to look at how long that person streams, how much content you can get out of those streamers, and yeah, you also have to look at the Twitter algorithm. But right now there's many people there's even a Demi Sucks updates. There's an Ali Boba HQ, and I'm just gonna be honest. All their posts are like Demi Sucks has so much talent. And if anyone in the chat knows what that is, that's like a code name, pretty much.
So how often do creators come after each other with their clip armies, right? I'm starting to get the sense that, because there's always drama among creators, man. There's always someone said the wrong thing, or someone's watching their content, or someone brigades them. How often do people, creators weaponize each other's groups against each other? And then how much drama, how much crossover is there in with the clipping talent? Is all of a sudden does one clipper go over to another camp to clip for them?
This does happen. I've been contacted myself. There was literally a time where I made a Fusi tweet, and Neon's people were like, "Oh, could you take that down actually?" And that's another thing. As a clipper, you have to play this game because you know that you are just reusing all these people's content. So it's you can't be there okay, I'm gonna make something and I'm gonna take you out of this game. That's the fastest way to lose your entire account. It's you gotta play ball sometimes.
So we got a comment from Platinum. They say, surprisingly, Kick Clips works for Sam. I'm assuming they mean Sam Pepper.
Yeah.
But never seen Sam clips on his channel, which is nice that he is not biased.
Because I've always had the idea, Sam knows this, I've always had the idea, which is Sam has his own YouTube channel, his own TikTok. I help him with his YouTube, his TikTok, his Instagram, and just to help grow his own social stuff, I'm doing something completely different. I used to help even Hannah as well, Handridge. I never posted her stuff either. So it's if I work for somebody, I just leave it on their platform.
So Tony Soprano, the late great Tony Soprano, interviewing clippers in 2025, tough times. And I tend to disagree with that. I think that clipping is something that a lot more creators, a lot more people are going to start taking advantage of. I heard Big E talking about it the other day, about he's doing it. He's going to get a handful of people to help him clip and create content and get it out there. I don't see this any different as creating a TikTok account or posting images to your Instagram account, using different mediums, to get your content out there. Do you see it that way, or is clipping bigger than just getting a narrative out?
I keep telling people that if you're streaming, you do need to have clips. You need to be posting your clips either on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, IG, or Twitter. You have to be putting out, because as someone said earlier in your chat, you may see a clip and then go watch the streamer. You can bring somebody to your stream, so just get somebody to do it, and you can go from there. And also, the thing I didn't tell you is that we've also grown. The game is no longer just, I don't only clip. I run some groups where there's 60 or 70 clippers inside these groups. So then I can take it to, for example, Starlight, and then Starlight can make deals with these other clippers. And then our job is to watch what these guys are posting. That's also the secondary. The game has gotten a little bit bigger now, than like when we first started. Because there's thousands of people that are doing it now, or especially on X.
So Platinum followed up with a pretty good, low key. Clippers need to get permission. If not, the streamer can DMCA the clip. Is that true? Like, is it public domain? If the content that I create on live streaming, like, is it just public domain? Can anyone use it? Or do I actually own that? And can I send you a DMCA takedown request for that clip?
I think if you do it like how I'm doing it or Lataris is doing it, as I said, I don't just post a clip from a streamer. I download it and then I cut it up into pieces. I'm editing it. If you edit an actual clip, it's a little bit harder to DMCA take it down. But if you just take direct 30 seconds and you write your catchy post on it, yes, they can. They can actually DMCA it. But also, doesn't always happen. I've had creators contact me and ask me, could you tell that clipper I'm gonna DMCA him? And nothing's happened. He's still posting. He's like absolutely no damage whatsoever.
Gotcha. Hey, not to get too off topic, Anna Daunting says, hey, can you fix it so that when you ban someone, they can't watch your stream at all? Yeah, that's coming. That's coming. That is on the way. That is on the way. Dash 7 says there should be a faster system for clipping so you can save the clip to the camera roll so people don't have to screen record. I'm not sure if that exists or not when you do clip. So what is some of the techniques that you guys do to clip? Like, are you guys constantly screen recording, or is there a more sophisticated way to clip?
There isn't. Like, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people who do clips don't like kick clips. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Because sometimes we have to continuously like open up more tabs, because once you make one clip, then you can't keep on making it within the same window. So you gotta keep doing that. And sometimes it also crashes when you're trying to actually make those clips. And then beyond just that, I don't want to say it, man, but I got to. Twitch clips, you can make it vertical for TikTok and Instagram, and you can choose short or long clips. There's like a real editing tool that you can play with. We need that on Kick.
All right, so if I get any developers in the chat watching, we got to get vertical clips out, guys. Like, this is it's a must. It's a must. It's not even like an if and when or whatever. This it's just an absolute must from a product level. If I've got any developers in here, please take note of that. Like, that has been on our radar. It's been on our radar, I think, since we launched. It's been something that we have promised in the past, and we got it. We just got to do that. The other thing is that I do think that, like, let's take our clipping section now, right? Like, so popular clips is on the front page. I think it's like the 4th category down. Like, there's got to be a better way for us to really get better clips out there, because right now all it is like XQC or Destiny or some streamer getting hit with a golf ball, right? So how do you think that we should present clips? Like, I think we should have a mechanism where we vote them down or vote them up, similar to, like, let's say Reddit.
I mean, that could be a good system. Also, if you had, like, in the directory, like if you had a tab called clips, like let's say I don't have time to watch streams, I can just click into the clip section and it just shows today's clips or something like this. So, like, I know it's good being in the front page, but having it where we could just click into its own tab, its own section where we can do things in it, I think that's good as well. Also, like, I don't know, with the clips, can I take out what I don't want to see? Let's say I don't want to see gambling. Maybe Trainwrecks won 20 million. I don't want to see this. Is it possible of just having clips of what I want to see?
Kind of like what we do with the filters with like pools,
Yeah.
casino, VR chat. That's a good note. That's a really good note. I'm going to take another question from TX. Clipping on Kick does seem to have gotten better. Seems less errors than in the past. Scraplet says the tech isn't difficult. I'm assuming he's talking about vertical. The server resources are expensive, though. Very true. Very, very true. All right, man. I think that I've peppered you with a lot of questions. I kind of want to kick it over to you about anything that you want to talk about. Obviously, Eddie's not here this week, guys. He's on vacation. That vacation is probably going to be extending into next Saturday also, so you guys will probably be stuck with me then. But Kick Clips, I want to tell you this, like, we're going to get you back on when Eddie's on, right? Because
yeah, I got a glaze. I got a glaze to Eddie.
Man. You got a glaze, and I think you need to educate him like a lot on clipping. I think he'd be very interested in hearing a lot of what you got to say. But yeah, man, what do you got?
Okay, I got multiple things. First thing I want to say to you is that, like, me streaming on Kick, it's been good. I won't lie, it's been good because, like,
but it hasn't been great. I want it to be great. I want it to be great for you.
Okay, because I would say that the front page has gotten better. Like, because now I see a lot of people that I clip on the front page, which is good. I would say which is good. But just like I don't want to drop names on you because I don't want to start drama. But on New Year's Day, there was a streamer on the front page. I think if chat knows what I'm saying, they know. There was a guy on the front page for like 6 hours. 6 hours? And he was just like watching YouTube videos. Like, he literally finished his show. He was just watching YouTube videos for 6 hours.
Well, what's the handle, man? Now, see, here's the deal. You can't do that because then how am I going to go investigate? How am I going to go look into it? How am I going to be like, hey,
okay, maybe I can do it after the stream.
And then, okay, what were the hours? Let's do that. What were the hours like U.S. time? Are you talking about hours your time? Because the thing is that
Korean time. I don't know.
Okay, so Korean time. Like, what is it? 12:30 right now? Where you're at?
Right now, yes, 12:20 at night. Guys, I have it, but I don't really want to stir the pot. I'm just trying to tell him. Maybe rotation needs to be worked on.
That was Nick White stream. No face, no case. No face, no case. That was any XQC stream. Agree about front page being better. Finding a lot of decent streamers. Thank you, Super Skills. Here's the deal. Like,
wait. Pause.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen streamers sleeping, and then the front page fast asleep. So this too as well. Like, dude, like the front page. Okay. Another thing is that sometimes people get front paged when they're ending their stream. Like, I'll give you a real example. I'm not hating Zondo. Zondo went to a mountain. He came back. He went to a bar. These are things people want to see. He went to a party, came home. He had a shower. He sat down on his balcony. He's relaxing now because he's tired after a long day. And then he's front paged. He literally looked at the screen and got angry. That's a real example.
When you say Mondo, like M-A-N-D-O?
No, Zondo under 41, _41.
I'm not.
So, like, I'm just saying, like,
I'm not familiar with that.
I'm just trying to say this to you. Like, when people get front page, they should get front page when they're doing the. You get me? Like, when they're doing the content.
I totally agree with you. Listen, and that's part of the Kick Series program, right? Is to identify, and we're still putting the finishing touches on that. But the idea with the Kick Series programming is to identify those moments so that we can front page, right? Because look, it's all this shit happens obviously in real time, yada, yada, yada. I think the thing is that what you got to realize is that, I mean, we can't be across everything unless we know, right? So with the Kick Series program, it allows people to say, hey, listen, I'm about to go climb a fucking mountain. Might be interesting. Check it out. And then we can schedule that front page time, right? But I totally agree with you. We need to capture more of those moments where it's more entertaining. I think that we have gotten better at putting content that is more intentional. Let me also add something else. I get more DMs, I get more internal complaints from streamers who have not evolved their content. I get more complaints from streamers who say, "Hey, listen, why am I not getting front page anymore? I don't know, because you've played Call of Duty for the last 3.5 years of your life, and you're not just like trying to adapt. You're not trying to do something new." there's a lot of streamers who have adapted. There's a lot of streamers who are doing more collaborations, who are stepping outside of the box a little bit more, who are like, I view the FPS type of content like my generation content. The Ninja, the Tim the Tatman, the Dr. Disrespect, the Cloaksy, the Shroud. I think that this next generation requires collaboration. It requires IRL. Yes, you can still be a first-person shooter content creator, but you got to have a real solid community in order to compete in today's streaming, in my opinion. So that's a long-winded dissertation about what you're saying about the front page. I totally agree with you, and we are getting better at curating it, and there is help on the way to further curate better programming on the front page.
Like, check what Tony said in the chat right now.
Are we talking about the late, great Tony Soprano?
Yeah, late, great.
Gigan TV, #1 on front page is Blackstream in last 10 minutes. Let me go look. All right, let me refresh. All right, I got Gigan TV. Looks like he's in a room with a refrigerator talking. I don't see the black screen, but I might have got jumped in a little late, maybe.
But okay, at least you get it. You get it. But as I said, you remember back in the days when people were saying, "Oh my God, Kick.com is demisucks.com," and like, you remember people were saying this, right? I want to just give some props, which is like, it's been rotating more. Like, I see everyone who I clip now. So yeah, that's the one thing I will give props to Kick. It has changed the people that I see on the front page. There's more, you understand, there's more IRL people that I never used to see in the front page that are there now.
Yeah, we also made an IRL.
Props to them.
We also made an IRL category, right? So like that's another thing. Like, we made an entire IRL section here as well. But yeah, listen, I don't think it's ever going to be perfect. I think one thing to note is that Kick does not run on an algorithm. I think a lot of this will change once we get a proper algorithm up and going. I think that there will be a lot less call out of like, oh, there's favoritism, or there's why is this person always on, or why is this, like, it's twofold right now, right? Like, if you're producing good content, the likelihood of you getting on the front page is very, very high, right? That's why I'm really calling out, like, even like traditional streamers, where it's just kind of like, hey, it's gotten much more competitive, right? It's gotten much more competitive as more people come on to Kick. But I think an algorithm, a proper algorithm that focuses on the right metrics, on the right content, will ease the tension on the front page discussion. Until we get that algorithm, just guys know that there's a human behind this. There's a team. It's not just like 3 people choosing. There's a team of like 30 people, from the social media team to the team feature team to the moderation team to the higher ups, that are constantly watching Kick and throwing in names for constant rotation.
Yeah. And as I said, yeah, and then the new Kick website, it's good. Ever since like you guys changed it, it's a lot better than the last one. It runs a lot smoother. Even the new dashboard. Must tell you, I like the new dashboard that you can check out, like the KCIP and the revenue and stuff. It looks so much better than how it used to.
Yeah, look, I think it still has a long way to go. That's just me. I think that KCIP dashboard needs to have more metrics that encourages streamers to figure out how to up their rate, right? Like, to figure out like, oh, like, actually, we're looking for unique chatters. We're looking for your stream not to be botted. I think that that's another thing. I think I am open to the idea. I personally, and I'm not, Kick has grown a lot more since I've been onboarded, right? Since I started. It's probably grown by 500%. So there's a lot more decision makers in the room. I personally feel that if you have inflated views, we should be showing you what the fuck you're doing, right? Like, and calling you out on it. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I do understand the idea that if you share too much information, that botters can adapt what they're doing, right? But I have no problem in saying like, oh, you're complaining that you have 300 CCV and you're only getting $3 an hour. Well, it's because 280 of that is you're botting, or you're being botted, or you're claiming you're not being botted and you're not reporting it, right? So as far as like the dashboard goes, I think there's more tools that we should be delivering to you guys so that you can better figure out how well your stream is actually doing. Does that make sense?
I think that's good. More analytics is always good. It's always a good thing.
All right, so
because even let's say somebody bots you, you don't want that. Like, you want to see real growth. You want to see, and also you want to see like where my viewers are coming from, what countries, what time zones, things like this.
Yeah. Dr. Beast Mode, what if the front page had a calendar of some sort and allow creators to schedule the times via email, maybe monthly caps per KCIP, verified partners? Thoughts? Kick Clips, what are your thoughts on someone having a calendar where they can schedule front page?
I mean, didn't we try to do that? Like with the front page program, wasn't it similar?
Exactly.
My only thing is that it can cause stress for small streamers because it's like, oh my God, I'm going to be live at 9 p.m. and it's got to be good. I know I'm going to be in front of all the people.
Yeah, here's the thing. So, Dr. Beast Mode, we do have such a program. It has not been scaled. That's the problem. We have gone through 2 phases. We're about to go through a 3rd phase of Kick Series programming. There is a sign-up form where you can pitch your idea. That's something that you got to realize. Like, I can't tell you how many pitches we got, which was, hey, I play Fortnite with my community and I'm going to re-gift subs. And it's kind of like, well, that's not a concept. That's not a concept, like, at all. Kick Clips was part of, I think, phase 1, if I remember correctly. But your pitch was, I'm going to backtrack the history of big time streamers throughout streaming history. And it became like a bio on big streamers. And that was very, very interesting. What was your experience in getting scheduled? Because I think that it's good. I think it trains creators to elevate and produce their content. I do think that there has to be more scuff to it. I think there has to be more authenticity to it, because when it's overproduced, I think you lose people. But what was your experience with Kick Series programming?
I mean, for me, remember, I'm doing a show though. I'm not just playing a game. So for me, it was a little stressful, but I think if you're doing something that's scripted, it's okay. If you're doing something scripted, like it's an event or you're doing a show for a specific time, it's okay. But I don't know. I feel like it's weird if I said to you, I'm going fishing today, so can you just put me down for the front page program because I might catch a fish. I think that's weird. Like, also, like, don't take away, like, there's a...
You low key call out streamers. I love it without saying their name. I totally know who you're talking about.
Oh man!
But go ahead, man.
I'm in trouble.
Go ahead.
I'm in trouble. Yeah, so basically, I just want people to. I know me, right? The first time I was ever front page, there's that excitement, like, oh my God, they front page me. Holy shit, that's me. And if everything is like, let's plan for tomorrow, I'm gonna be front page, it kind of kills that, you know?
Yeah, but I think it makes you step into the batter's box, right? I think it makes you level up to some degree, right? I think it makes you like look at your content. Like, how many people after they stream actually look at their content and then like self-critique themselves? I would say 10% of creators do that from what I've seen.
This you're right. I think it's lower than that, because people just stream and then turn off their stream and go to sleep. I don't think people actually check what they were streaming.
So I do see a lot of comments about front page, blah, 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 this and that. Look,
Can I ask you some questions?
Yeah.
Like I made a whole list
Oh
to
no,
fire
go
at you.
for it.
Okay, so what's the current situation with the view boarding on Kick? Like, you don't have to get into too deep, but just your honest opinions. Like, if we compare 2023, 2024, and now, how do you feel about view boarding on Kick at the moment?
We talked about this last week with Sneeko. We had a very in-depth conversation with Sneeko. He asked the exact same question that Eddie gave a response on. Look, I think, just to recap some of the things that Eddie touched on was view botting's rampant absolutely everywhere. I think you probably see it in your world also. I mean, how many people brigade an account with like 20 accounts that they've created that have maybe like 2 followers and just go and say terrible things in people's chat or people's Twitter feeds, things that nature. Botting is rampant everywhere. It was on when I was when I was on the other side, on the other platform. Let me tell you, view botting was a different level, man. We're talking about pixel embedding, right? I think what you're talking about is like, 1,000, 2,000, 500, 20, 50 extra viewers. I'm talking about pixel embedding, which is like in the hundreds of thousands, man. Like, that is monstrous, right? And then my point in saying all this is that there are platforms that will take view bots and pass them off as viewers to their advertisers. So they create different tools to combine chats, of inflated accounts that might not be accurate, that might pixel embed. It's so much worse than just view botting 50, 80, 70, 80 viewers in order to climb a certain ladder. All right. Let me just say that. All right. The second thing is, I think a lot of people view botting as it works. Right. And I think that is a shortcut. And I think it makes for worse creators. I think that people see, and I'm not going to name any names, but if someone has 5,000 CCV, like genuine 5,000 CCV, and they pump in another 10,000 CCV, unfortunately, people see that as a success, right? Why aren't you just happy with the 5,000 CCV that you got? That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. It's because on other platforms, you're able to pass that off onto your advertisers as viewers. All right. Right. So there is financial gain that comes from that. All right. So how is Kick different? Right. So we don't run commercials. So we don't pass off bots as viewers to advertisers. All right. Our method of payment with KCIP behooves us to track inorganic traffic because we pay out KCIP. So anyone that you've ever seen who goes out on Twitter and says, why is it that I have 900 CCV and I'm only getting paid $4 an hour? Kick, fix your KCIP. They've just outed themselves because you're botting your channel, man. You're botting your channel where we're only paying you out what's organic, what's authentic, right?
So can we one? So you're saying that if somebody view bots me, I tell that to Kick, I won't lose my KCIP.
Well, you got to report it. It's always better to report it. If guys out there, if you ever get botted, and it's not you, it's not you, report it, right? But there are other ways, and I'm not going to get too detailed into it, right? Of like getting more, because here's the tough part about everything, right? Is how do you prove that someone's botting, or how do you prove that someone's being botted, right? How do you, it almost relies on an honor system. There are ways to track things. There are ways to find out. I'm not going to get heady into it, but what I will say, having worked on other platforms, Kick does 10 times more work in combating botting than any other platform. Guaranteed.
I mean, I was watching Action Man. You can't speak on it, but I can. Okay, so I watched Action Man, and he pulled up Twitch, and like this one guy had 12K viewers, and the chat was zero people. It was zero. There was no one in chat. So I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. So
but
I just wanted to get your point of view. Like, now it's nice. And you are right. I remember there was a couple of streams where like Crazy Torn had 365,000. There was a massive stream where like Moises had 730,000 on Kick. Those were early days. So I understand what you're saying. And you're saying right now that those numbers have dropped drastically. So
well, I mean, I think
you.
I even got pegged for saying that those numbers have dropped. I think I called out someone that you helped clip, right? Way back. I don't know if you recall that, man. But I even said, like, when everyone's sitting there saying, like, hey, your top streamers are all botting, and I'm kind of like, well, we're combating it. Here's proof, right? Here's proof that Kick is combating it. My point is that Kick has every reason to know what's up with the botting, because the basis of KCIP, a lot of that is organic viewers, right? So we don't want to pay out someone who has 2,000 CCV, right? And they're actually only doing 800 CCV. We're going to pay them for the 800, right? We're not just going to like dump money into bots, right? But what we're also not going to do is just call out everybody, say it, because then people get more sophisticated in the way that they bot, right? It's just better to know, like, hey, we see this person, we're tagging and bagging them, and this is the payout. Have fun taking the social media, calling yourself out for not earning a rate on a botted account.
Get you. So on that one stream, like when he got, let's say the guy got 5,000 viewers, KCIP did not pay him for 5,000 viewers.
No, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
No, man. No. We would sing anyone would. Okay, so here's the deal. Why on other platforms can they do it, right? Because you have to understand where the money's coming from, right? Like, so the money's coming from Kick paying creators, right? The money on other platforms traditionally comes from advertisers, all right? So it's incumbent on the advertiser to say, hey, actually, my media buy that I gave you $600,000 for, I only got, $200,000 worth of organic views, right? That's the thing. That's the trick. The trick is like, I'm going to pass off these bots as viewers, and the money comes from advertisers. Advertisers have to get more savvy in tracking bots, view bots, inorganic viewers. Otherwise, these companies have no incentive in capping botting. Eddie has said this before, other people have said this before, that the big platforms, the OG platforms, they have to lead the way in combating botting. Otherwise, there is zero incentive for them not to take other advertisers' money and continue to pass off view bots as viewers. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
And
then I have some more questions.
I'm going to add one more thing to it. The thing is think about the revenue split that then happens to the creator. So the creator's all about it. The creators on these platforms, they're all about it. They don't mind. Yeah, I'm not botting. I'm being botted, but I'm still getting paid through ad revenue splits. What that total might be. Does that make sense? So it's
I do understand that. Like, there's some creators get deals based on it. So I mean, I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I can understand. So yeah, you shouldn't. Then we want to talk about, again, this is just people's perceived favoritism that sometimes people talk about, right? So do people get verification based on the stats that they hit? Or like, let's say I was on Twitch and I was a Twitch partner and I came to Kick. Will I get verification immediately?
The short answer is yes. And Eddie has tweeted out about this. If you go out and look at, maybe this was like 3.5 months ago, 3 months ago. Look, yes, if a guy like Ninja fires up on Kick, he's going to get verified. He just is. He's probably going to get verified. He's probably going to hit those metrics pretty fast. That was back in the day, right? Back in the day, that happened, right? I would say now it's a little harder to do that. I think that while these streamers are going to hit the metrics relatively fast, I do think that you're going to see some cases and instances where it's kind of like, do we want to give verification to the streamer that's just kicking the tires, or do we want them to kind of earn it a little, right? So I think a good example of that is like, like Stay Safe GG, right? Very well-known streamer on Twitch. He came over and he started making Kick a home, but he hit those metrics super fast because he has a really strong community, right? So the short answer is no, it's not as easy as it was back in the day when we were trying to entice people to come over to Kick. Hell, if you were a streamer that was doing 200 CCV or 150 CCV, we would likely fast track you on verification. Another thing that I do want to highlight is that we do have a partners team, and I think that you might see this with, like, let's say old school RuneScape or the chess category, or I think we've been making a nice push with GTA. Like, if we bring on like 10 creators that are running the GTA category, then yeah, we're probably going to go ahead and give them verification so that we can continue to grow that category. So that's just a business strategic move that you're probably seeing there.
Okay. And when we talk about like streamers, right? So XQC streams on Twitch, streams on Kick. Trainwreck streams on Twitch, streams on Kick, right? Let's say by some miracle, the clouds came together, God pathed it out and looked at Aiden Ross and said, I'm going to unban your Twitch. Like, do you think that would be good for Kick if he was streaming on Twitch?
First of all, like, Aiden is Kick 100%. Like Aiden is, like, when you think of Kick, you think of Aiden Ross, right? When you think of Kick, you think of XQC. You think of Trainwreck, right? Look, Train still streams on Twitch. XQC still streams on Twitch. I think it's about the relationship and how you treat these guys, right? Like, I think that we have a more transparent, open forum with these guys. I think they really respect that. I think that they like that. I think that some of the things that they say, we take into serious consideration. I don't know if that's happening on other platforms. But as far as like Aiden Ross specifically, like, we don't want that guy to go anywhere, right? I think he's also the kind of guy that he's got a highly established brand. I think that he could broadcast out of a tin cup and people are going to come follow him. So where I don't know that Aiden needs Twitch. Does that make sense? I think Aiden is his own brand. And I think that there's only a handful of people that you can say that about.
Because, he can't collab with Kai. Like, there's a lot of people on Twitch, he can't collab, though.
He can collab with Kai. Why can't Kai come on his channel?
That's the thing. There's like a politics.
Why can't Speed come on? Like Aiden's not collabing on Twitch because he's against it, right? Like let's reverse this, right? Why isn't Kai coming on Aiden's stream?
I mean, the only time I saw them together was that Rumble. You remember they did the Power Slap? That's where I saw Aiden, Kai, and Speed together. That's the only time I can think of. Also on the birthdays, right? They both went and gave each other watches. I don't know if you remember this. That's the only time I saw them together. But yeah, you do make a good point. They need to come onto the kick stream.
Yeah, but
You do
but
actually
but
make a
it's
good
that
point.
thing, right? It's that thing where it's kind of like, Aiden just wants to collab. It's kind of like, well, no one's stopping them from collabing, right? Like, hell, I think Aiden could go on iShowSpeed's YouTube, right? And collab. Obviously, we want these guys to be collabing on Kick, but this idea that we're hampering that process, like on our end, that's just not, that's definitely not the case.
But I'm happy you saying that Kick wants to keep those big creators because I was worried. I won't lie. When Aiden said he was leaving, I was really worried because he has a lot of young audience that comes to Kick, and then they go to other places. I don't know why he nuked. Okay, I mean we know why he nuked his comm, but like even his comm, you have no idea how many Kick clips goes through those comms. Like so I'm happy that he's staying though. I'll say it right now. I'm happy that he's
Look,
staying.
I'm crazy happy that he's staying too. The other thing we got to realize is that this is a business, right? Look, you have someone like Valkyrae, right? Or you have someone like Ludwig, or you have someone like Tim the Tatman, or any streamer that moved from YouTube that the YouTube did not re-up their contract and they moved directly to Twitch, right? Why not add Kick to the diet, right? Because what ends up happening is that you need to have a platform to leverage a contract against on another platform. Do you get what I'm saying? So Twitch becomes the home base because they're established, right? But like there's no reason why a streamer shouldn't also be streaming on Kick, and to earn more money through KCIP, to earn more money through subs. But what it becomes is it becomes a leverage tactic. It becomes if you want me to come over and bring my community over there, this is what I'm leveraging. And what Kick has to do is we have to create our own solid community, right? We have to create that FOMO. We have to have product parity. We have to be competitive on our product so that eventually those guys say, I can't afford not to have an account on Kick. Does that make sense?
Definitely makes sense. I get you. Then I want to switch to the moderation. Yes, I know you guys talk for like hours on the moderation stuff, right? So with the permanent bans, right? When people get permanently banned, is there ever like they keep appealing, right? This is what I've been told. One of my friends, Fabrius, he got hit with this. And he says every time he sends the emails, he just gets like a computerized response to it. Like he wants to talk to a human where the human can explain what he did wrong or if there's any way of salvaging that permanent ban. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, look, so I do not head up moderation. I do not we have an entire team. Hell, I don't even head up bans or appeals. We have entire departments for that now, right? So I mean, shit. I mean, we have so many employees now, like that in Kick is growing at such a rate. What I can tell you is this. I don't know the situation of the people that you're talking about. I do. Guys, 80% of the stuff that I get tagged for about getting banned or an appeal, like I do not know the case. I do not know what the thing is. I can go look it up and research it. What I can tell you is that any situation on a permaban that deals with kids, you're going to have a real tough time coming back onto Kick. We just do not.
I can tell you his one, but you can talk to him. After this I can give you.
Yeah, I don't know his situation. I'm just giving an overall generality of like, because sometimes what they go to social media with isn't what they actually got pegged for, right?
Yes, I'm not here saying to you, hey, free him. He did. I just want you to, maybe not you, but as you said, I just want to know whether there was a human at the end of the email response.
There's a human. There's a human at the end of every email response, right? Here's the other thing: if this person keeps spamming appeals, right? Like if they appeal and then an hour later they email again and they email again. There's so much that you can say. Like I don't want my staff member constantly explaining the same thing. Like, I totally get the cut and paste response at that point, right? But if the feedback is like, hey, you got to wait 14 days for this to cool off. We've denied your appeal. Wait the 14 days for it to cool off, right? But people who are seeking verification, right, and keep getting denied, people who are seeking a respite from their permaban, right, and they keep getting denied. On a permaban, you've likely done something dealing with minors. We do not want to touch that. There is no room for that on Kick. If you have a history of not skipping minors on chat roulette, and it's the 10th time that we've warned you about it, we're not going to play around with you anymore. We're just not going to play around with you anymore. Like 1 or 2, 5, 6 times, we totally get it. But after the 10th, 12th time, you got a problem. You have a problem. You need to go seek help, right? So I can say that with absolute decisiveness that if you have a history of constantly talking with minors or platforming minors or being weird around minors, we don't mess with you anymore, man. I'm not saying that that's the case with this person. I don't know what this person's case.
I know you're talking in general.
Yeah, I'm talking in general. Verification. I want to also address this because, verification can be said also. I've applied 10 times. Listen, man, there's people who apply 50 times on Twitch and finally get partner, right? Around verification, you're either tabbing like crazy, you are either in a follow for follow group, right? Your socials do not match with the traffic that you're working with. You're blatantly botting yourself, right? And I want to make this absolutely clear. Like, people who are botting, those lists are sold. So when you go to a botting service, those people turn around and sell the list off, all right? If you're in certain Discord groups, right? If you are part of bounty boards, if you're targeting other streamers, if you're openly harassing other streamers, like, everyone just stay in their lane and just vibe with your community, right? We at Kick have to do a better job of providing tools where people can better protect their communities and stay in their own lanes. But if you're a part of a Discord group that has bounty boards on people and you're applying for verification and you're botting the shit out of yourself and you keep taking to social media, like nailing yourself to a cross, it's just weird.
No, I get you. Then can we talk about the warning system? Like, when Kick first started, they said like when people were close to TOS guidelines, somebody would warn them. Like they like, can we get that back? Is there any chance of getting that back?
So, yeah, 100%. Okay, so listen, like when I was heading up that moderation side, we came up with a program, which was a warning system. And we tweeted out about this. We tweeted out about it on Kick support that we were going to be doing this, right? And first, the most violations back in the day started out in the pools category. So in the pools category, it was much more visual, right? Like, it was decisive. Like the infraction was very black and white. So we were able to say, hey, check your email. We sent you a clip. We need you to change the outfit or change the content or change the camera angle, because it was black and white. It was like clear as day what the violation was, and we need you to adapt, right? That warning system, we started testing it out under pools because it was just the easiest path to agreement with the creator. Yeah, this outfit isn't on par. I'm going to go change. Give me 1 second. Awesome. Thank you very much. Then we moved it over to chat roulette because chat roulette faces the exact same thing. It was very black and white. Hey, man, like, you can't be doing this. You cannot be talking to minors like this. You're hanging on with a minor a little too long. You need to skip through. Here's a clip of you like talking with them for 2.5 minutes. Yeah, that's true. I'll stop doing it. All right, we don't have to ban you. Then we moved it over to VR chat because VR chat was the same way. You got the wrong model, your camera angle is weird, your content is like crossing over into, into another space where you should be doing that on another platform. Yeah, you're right. I will adapt my content. Move on, right? These three categories were categories that were black and white. It was easy to have a relationship with the creator and be on the same page. Scaling that to just chatting, scaling that to gaming is a lot harder because there's a lot more creators in those categories. It requires a lot more manpower to do that. However, we are doing those things, all right? And I have to check back in with the moderation team because I visited Serbia not too long ago and I'm like, hey, listen, we need to adapt these principles to these three categories. We just need to do it for the whole platform. We need to be better with a warning system. We need to, we're also exploring the option of like, and if someone did something that's edgy and we're like, all right, we're not just going to ban them, right? Pull their stream. We're going to talk to them after their stream is over, be a little bit more reformative. But we should be having those things going out into place right now. The warning system should be going out to place, right? Now, I will have to say this about our moderation. There are some things that they're probably just not going to absolutely let slide with a warning, which is like egregious genocidal hate speech or flat out like engagement with a minor or pornography. Those are things where it's just like because we will get flagged by, by higher ups, like by not higher ups within the company, but just like, hey, why is Kick talking to so many, like Riot LOL changed the entire game in moderation, man, when it comes around to minors, right? So, but to directly answer your question, that system that you're talking about should be happening right now. There are some cases where you're not going to get a warning, but for the majority of the time, you should be getting a warning in your email or someone coming in your chat saying, hey, can you check your email? Can you adjust your content? I'll give you a very specific example. iDunkle, right? iDunkle was watching SpongeBob SquarePants, right? On his TV in the background. He got flagged. He got a DMCA strike. Nickelodeon does not play around. Paramount does not play around with their SpongeBob property, right? So we reached out to him. He didn't take it down in time. And, there was a long lapse where he eventually took it down, but they took him down, right? In my opinion, that is a perfect example of where the warning system should have happened. Like we should have emailed him. We should have gotten in a chat. We should have waited for his stream to end if he's not being responsive and saying, hey, you had SpongeBob up. We're thinking about banning you for a day. You can appeal it and we'll knock it down to a couple hours or whatever. But that's a perfect example of where the warning system probably needs to come into play and do a better job. But that should be happening.
That's good. That's good to know. How much of time do I still have to ask questions?
Dude, you got me for as long as you want, man. Honestly,
Okay.
like sometimes these things go for 3 hours, they go for 2 hours. We're at an hour and a half right now. So,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Can I ask some trolley questions?
Troll
It's just
away,
Just
man.
one- it's
Troll away.
just-
Troll away.
Okay, so it's 2025. It's the new year, but I'm still seeing Neon talk about your name. So I just want to know, like, have you made peace with Neon? Like, are you and Neon good in 2025?
Yeah, man. I don't think there's. Look, it's all part of it, right? Not everyone's going to agree with your POV. What I can say is that I think that he just had some bad intel. I think for a while it was going around, he just kept calling me the head of moderation. I'm just kind of like, hey man, I haven't headed up moderation. Like I did the first year of moderation, right? And arguably that was considered the heyday of of Kick streaming. No, there's no beef. What I will say that is I'm not shy about saying my opinion, right? So like if he keeps bringing me up, then I'm asked on it, then I will say my piece, right? But no, look, I think he's on his own journey. I think he is who he is. He's and I got no problem with that, right? We have so many different personalities, and there's so many people that once you start to get to know me, right? Like you're like, oh, wait a minute, this guy gets it. Wait a minute, the intel that I have is severely flawed, right? Oh, wait a minute, this guy isn't the head of moderation, and I've been calling him out for X, Y, and Z. So for me, we just laugh about it. And it's tough.
I think he's doing it for content. This is my opinion. Right now, I think he's just doing it for content.
But it's part of it, right? You just got to realize that you're in the WWF ring, right? So like, for instance, like when he came onto the show, like, I don't know how many times he told me to go fuck myself, right? But like me and Eddie are just sitting there having a good time laughing. Like it's just, we don't take it serious, right? We don't, it's like, what do you do when a 5-year-old comes in kicking and screaming? You just let him kick and scream. You just let him kick and scream, right? But when someone like Aiden comes on and is respectful, when someone like Sneeko comes on and articulates themselves and can have a conversation, right, that doesn't come in solely for clip farming, then the relationship is different. The relationship is very, very different. And I would argue that Sneeko had more reason to have an aggressive conversation with Kick than, like, let's say a Neon, right? We fully support Neon and we always have. But, Sneeko's still kicking the tires over here on Kick. But go back and watch the tape, man. Go watch how these established streamers like Ice Poseidon, like Aiden Ross, I mean, shit, even Abs was on the call, right? And then go watch Sneeko. Watch how they carry themselves. They get their point across. They get their clips across. They get their questions across, and they ask very direct questions, but they do it in a totally different, relevant, professional, I've been there, I've made it manner, right? I'll give you another analogy to all this, all right? And it just takes time. I think Neon will get to that point. But it's going to take years. It's going to take years before he gets to that where he's comfortable in his own skin and can have a conversation with anyone and still be direct. I'll give you an example of the. I used to work for Jay Leno, which is the Jimmy Fallon show now, right? I used to have to take people back to the dressing room and get them situated, get them their water, get them, situated in their dressing room, right? The people who made it, the A-list true celebrities, were the coolest, chillest people out there. They were comfortable in their skin. They could have a conversation with you. They didn't look down on you. They weren't insecure about themselves because they've already been through the ringer. However, if you caught a reality star, I remember, and I'm not going to name names, but like there's this one reality star. She was the Bachelorette, and she was coming on to the show, right? She had an entire entourage. She had a bus, she had wardrobe, she had makeup, she had all this stuff. And like at Leno, we were like, you just have a dressing room, man. Like we don't accommodate all this stuff. An absolute meltdown, right? It's because this person was new to the industry. They were new to the game. They were getting notoriety. They just did not know how to handle themselves, right? So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of nuance of like, why I understand this young man's journey and why I think he feels that he needs to be doing the things that he's doing. But at the same time, I do think that he could become a pretty decent streamer. If I don't know if any of this stuff that I says makes sense, but that's just my take. So the short answer is I got no issue with Neon because I think Neon's arc is still developing.
Yeah, you are right. I mean, I do think that, as I said, this is his form of content. That's the thing. That's his form of content
Sure.
at the moment,
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
you said, at the moment. Then we go to the mustache. In 2025, will we see the mustache come back?
Well, it's kind of weird. I do. It pains me that I don't have it here, but I have my mustache in a jar, a glass jar, and I'm going to dye it. I think that I promised Neon. I can't. I don't want to keep talking on this, but I promised Neon that I would frost tip my mustache shavings, and I'm going to do that in honor of his frosted tips. I will be frosting the mustache clippings. So I do have it in a glass jar somewhere in here, and I apologize that I can't show it to you right
Dude,
now.
that's the clip. If you had it right now, that's the clip.
Yeah, man, it's paining me that I don't have it, but maybe that's content for a later day. The mustache, yeah. Listen, I had to shave it after Stockholm DreamHack. My wife and kids made me shave it for Thanksgiving. So it was shaved well before like the Mustache Man meta happened. But yeah, I grew it. I think that's the third time that I grew it. I'll probably grow it out again for sure.
I get you. Then let's talk about KickCon. In 2025, do you think it's a possibility?
Yes. Yes. It's a very, look, I'm not, we get in the bad habit of dropping dates and things of that nature. I can't do that. Can't do that right now. My aim is, yes, I want a KickCon towards the end of the year in 2025. I personally think that it makes sense to do a KickCon in North America. And I think it makes a lot of sense to do a KickCon in Latin America, whether that is in Austin, Texas, or Buenos Aires. I think that there's enough room to do two KickCons that celebrate the successes that have happened in the LATAM region and the North American region. That's something that I am working towards. Can I promise anything? No. Are we talking with the right people to execute on those things? 100%. Maybe someplace like Miami makes sense where the LATAM community is accessible to Miami. Same thing with the US audience. But I do think that after what I have seen with DreamHack, because with DreamHack, man, it was Melbourne, Dallas, Atlanta, and then Stockholm. We crushed the numbers at every one of those DreamHacks. Like there wasn't a DreamHack that fell off, right? Like the Kick community is strong. So I think that a KickCon, based on what I saw over 4 DreamHacks, I think that a North America KickCon could sustain itself, and I think a Latin America KickCon could sustain itself. These are just discussions. These is something like on a wish list, but I'm doing my damnedest to make that happen based on what I saw with DreamHack. Now, we don't want the DreamHack relationship to go away either. Like, we see a lot of value in the DreamHack relationship. I think they bring something else to the table. But as far as like having like, your homegrown own kind of con, yeah. I mean, and is it going to look like look, I love going to BlizzCons and I loved going to TwitchCon and I loved going to these places. But let me tell you, I would say about 35% of the talent that goes there does not want to go to these cons because they are contracted to do so, right? They are contracted to do so, but they genuinely don't want to be there because these things are just corporate like booths and shilling. And, most of those cons that you like, I got so many business cards from those cons and like disingenuous like conversation that it just absolutely drove me crazy. DreamHack was different. DreamHack was like a party. DreamHack was like a lounge. Everyone was chilling and vibing with each other. I got to know creators on a personal level. I got to know more about them outside of streaming. That's the vibe that I want for KickCon. I much rather would have an entire venue dedicated to Kick and hanging out and vibing with the community as opposed to being worried about selling booths at the space. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. It sounds good. Like more like community than just
More like community,
advertising.
celebrating IRL, celebrating all things gaming, celebrating like even bringing like story arcs within the IRL community and just chatting and everything and bringing that to the con, right? Like celebrating what's happening in the kick meta at that point.
I like it. Even like not a lot of people do it. Even as a desktop streamer, I sometimes pull up different cons and then like different POVs, and you can give commentary on it. A lot of people don't do that. Like I did that for DreamHack, and then I did it for TwitchCon, and then like I actually enjoyed the con stuff, so that's why I asked you that. So it's a good. I think it'd be good. Then
Wait. Are we out of the trolling? Are we out of that? You don't have any more trolling?
I gotta dig very deep here. Okay, do you think Vagabond will ever get his KCIP back?
It's not for me to say. It's not for me to say. That's an entire KCIP team. Again, we have an entirely different team. The only thing I can say is like, every now and then I'll catch a tag, or like when he comments in here, it's kind of like when he goes after pool streamers, I'm kind of like, hey man, you're topless the entire time and you're verified. You got verified doing topless streaming. I don't understand all the hate for other creators. As far as like his KCIP, I do not control that. Let me explain something to chat. Like, having been arguably employee number one at Kick coming in, I mean, when Kick first started out, there was like 6 of us, all right? By default, I headed up the moderation team. I headed up the verification team. I helped launch KCIP. KCIP was Eddie's baby. I was just the grease man on it and developing it, getting it out the door, and now over 3,000 creators are on KCIP. What I'm trying to explain is that I was even trust and safety man. I did the guidelines. I did every department I helped and I was part of, even legal, man, like even merchandise, even like customer support. Like my days were like 18, 19-hour days in helping get these departments up and infrastructured and going, right? But there's still this idea that I am still associated with those departments that I helped launch and get going. Those departments now have their own staff, including KCIP. They have their own onboarding staff and they have their own moderation staff, all right? There's an appeals process around KCIP that you must go through. And if you are not getting your appeals met, it's because of something else, man. And I don't know what that thing is. But even if I wanted to get W Vagabond back on the KCIP, there is so many hoops that I got to jump through. There is so many things that we have an entire team that is dedicated to something like this, that we have to just let our team handle that. We have to let our moderation team work out its kinks. We have to let the appeals team work out its kinks, and it'll all come back around. I don't know the details with his stuff, but what I do know is he's vocal, he's angry, and I don't know if there's a time frame that he's going to be back around. But if there's not, then there's a ton of other places where he can continue to monetize. It's not like Kick is the end all be all in his situation. So yeah, that's as much as I know. That's my opinion on it, and just gotta let the KCIP team monitor and decipher who's on KCIP and if he's following TOS or not following TOS. I don't know. I don't know the details around his stuff. What I will say is that I had a long conversation with W Vagabond at DreamHack. I think it was Atlanta. We talked for like 45 minutes, man. He's very articulate. He's a very smart guy. He knows what he's doing. Is some of this farming content? I don't know. It could be. Is KCIP going to make or break a guy like that? From what I have seen, I would say no. He did give me an entire deck around his anti-slave movement, which I totally 100% get. I do think that he is probably more better equipped to flip NGOs to flip like super PACs within North America to really out like high level political censorship groups with what I have seen. I don't know why he's going through this e-boy arc of going after what I consider smaller, not smaller creators, but people who are in a different life stretch than he is, right? Like I don't want him taking down e-girls or e-boys and getting into this e-girl arc. I look at his stuff and I'm kind of like, dude, you should be taking down super PACs. You should be taking down censorship departments within Harvard, right? You should be taking down you should be like flipping what the NSA is doing and how they weaponize certain like laws against certain communities. Like that's where I think that he would be better served, and I see his degree of skill set. So I don't know why he's wasting time on that. I personally think that he's got bigger fish to fry based on the stuff that we talked about and what I've seen. Does that make sense? Like wasted talent.
I mean, I told him to use the boat and go and film the dolphins and stuff like this. So I have been telling him. I clip a lot of his stuff because he's funny as hell.
Funny as hell, and he's got a lot of life advice, right? Like they're in between the hawking and the spitting and the coughing up of phlegm, and the rants. Like I would say, like 60% of his stuff is like life advice that people should adhere to because he's seen some shit. He's gone through some stuff, and he's obviously a self-made man.
Yeah, I mean, it costs money to get a boat, so I get you. Then, of course, the most like this is like elephant in the room. Okay, so after the Neon situation, they talked about OF girls. I just want to get your opinion. What's your opinion on OnlyFans girls like plugging the OnlyFans on the front page? Like, what's your stance on it?
Well, we do have a policy where if you have OnlyFans, like !OF, like we don't front page you. We won't front page you. Like, so if you ever see like that happening, like like I'll give you an example, a direct example. I think like Amaranth, she has !OF. I can't remember the last time Amaranth was front paged. So that does not happen. I think that people go nuts if they see someone front page that is just chatting or doing first person shooter that might have OnlyFans. Like I don't have an opinion of that. Like I don't care. They're adults. They can have an OnlyFans page. And I feel that way about any streamer. Like if a streamer does gambling, or if a streamer has like 20 gallons of G Fuel in their hawking G Fuel. Like my concern is like what's the kick traffic like? Like how many people are going off platform? Like how many people are you driving off platform? That's not what we want, right? We want people who are genuinely all for kick, right? We were not going to front page someone else who's promoting their YouTube channel or their like if they have combined chats and on their screen, we're probably not going to, or they're not paying attention to kick chat. We're probably not going to put them front page. So my point is that I don't care. Like I think OnlyFans is a tool, just like TikTok. or YouTube or Instagram that creators choose to use. The content that happens on OnlyFans will never take place on Kick because there's just other platforms for it. But as far as front paging it, like we don't front page people who actively promote any platform to be driven off of Kick.
Oh, that's interesting. So like if somebody was doing gambling, for example, to another site and that was pinned, that wouldn't be front paged. Like let's say he's gambling on another site, maybe he's not on KCIP. Listen carefully, I'm saying he's not on KCIP, he's streaming and he's got a link in his pin section to that gambling site. Like one of my friends, he does, I think it's called My Prize, and there you stream your gambling. And I understand he got hit for multi-streaming on KCIP.
Yeah, I mean, if you're multi-streaming to platforms that you're not supposed to be multi-streaming to, so you can multi-stream to X, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and you can get paid, right? Any other platform, you're going to get flagged. As far as like casinos and stuff go, I stay out of that lane, man. I don't work for stake. I stay the hell away from that stuff because I'm solely here for live streaming.
Do you ever get annoyed when people compare Kick to like a casino?
I understand why. Like, look, like that problem persisted very early on. I would say in the first 14 months of Kick's existence. I think we have passed that arc. I think right now what you have are people who use it as a convenient bat to take to Kick's knees. I think they genuinely know that Eddie and Bijan created Kick to be a live streaming platform. Look, I know that casinos do a lot of money. I know that casinos do a lot of revenue. However, you know what does even more money is multimedia conglomerates, media like Netflix, media like at one point cable television, the news, CNNs of the world, Fox News. At one point in their heyday, they were raking in bonkers money, right? And I think live streaming is that. For me as a live streaming professional, being focused on casino or any one category is so crazy short-sighted, it's not even funny. That's not where my personal eyeballs are at. My personal eyeballs are at is taking over video on demand streaming, taking over the Paramounts, the Hulus, the Netflixes of the world. I think live streaming can be the next big way that media is consumed. And to be hyper-focused or just say that Kick is just hyper-focused on casino is so 2023, it's not even funny. Like we would be selling ourselves short because we already have stake. There's already a stake. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in having a media company that influences culture, that gets IPs going, right? Like at some point, I want like a Marvel library, man, of live stream creators that we can syndicate and put out there. That's where I think things are going, and I think I would be selling Kick short if we were just focused on casino, man.
Yeah, you're right. Like we need more homegrown talent that's growing and becoming bigger. Like when we think of like Speed, you think of YouTube, think of Kai, you think of Twitch, Aiden, you think of Kick, right? But then who's behind them? If you start to think like that, like who's the next, the next one that's gonna come up through Kick and stuff. So I think it's good. It's good idea.
Yeah, it takes time for us to get organized. Look, if you don't think that YouTube doesn't have like an iShow Speed team, you're nuts. If you don't think that Twitch doesn't have a Kai Sanat team, you're nuts, right? Like these things are happening. I think that it's taking time for the rest of the market to like realize what live streaming is, right? And also the technology, right? Like the technology is getting faster, it's getting cleaner. I think once Starlink gets up and going and Elon drips the world in high speed, like forget it. Like you're talking about like, IRL's already flipped, from 6 months ago. It's going to totally flip as the technology gets, cleaner.
I just thought of another trolley question for you. So imagine you're on a mountain, right? And on one side you have Dexerto hanging from the cliff, and on the other side you have Kickchamp hanging from the cliff. Which one are you saving, and why?
Wow. All right. Can you say that question again? Sorry.
So one more time. You are on the mountain, and you have Kickchamp and you have Dexerto, and they both are hanging from the cliff. Which one are you saving?
Shit, I got to go with Kickchamp because at least he's getting the Kick name out there, right? There's a brand associated with it that we can actually leverage, right? Whether that's good or bad. He thinks enough of us to put Kick in his handle. So I'm definitely saving Kickchamp. Yeah. Is that direct?
I mean, I'm sure he's jumping up and down right now. Then another rumor. Okay, these are just rumors. I gotta ask you on rumors just to get like you can't give me definitives, but opinions you can. Do you think KCIP will ever end?
No. KCIP is a fucking game changer. KCIP needs to keep getting refined, right? This isn't any different than like, hell, the brilliant product that Twitch came out with was gifting subs, right? But very early on, gifting subs was highly scuffed, right? It isn't as clean as it is today or what they've developed it into be. But it was an absolute game changer for the industry. KCIP is an absolute game changer. Like you're getting paid to stream. You're not getting paid to run commercials. You're getting paid to stream. And then KCIP is still going to pay you to stream even when ads come into play. So ads are going to be an additional revenue stream. So you're going to make ad revenue, then you're going to make KCIP revenue, and then you're going to make 95.5 sub split revenue, and then you're going to make Kicks revenue. So in a perfect world, you're going to have 4 different revenue streams, right? But think about what KCIP is. And I don't think it drives me absolutely crazy because I don't think people fully understand what KCIP is. You are getting paid for your content, not for running 8 minutes worth of commercials, right? So it's the ultimate self-reflection in the mirror, right? Like, how good am I as a creator? KCIP will reflect it, right? And I think a lot of people are coming out of this KCIP arc where they're like, KCIP is shit. It's because I'm botting myself to 300 and I actually only have 80 viewers in there. So it's like this becomes this self-reflection, right? So KCIP pays you authentically for the content that you create and the traffic that you drive to your channel. There has been no other program. There is no other program like KCIP that pays you for what you're actually doing and actually pushes you to do better content. To act like as you do better content, you will see that reflected in your pay because as you make better entertaining content, people will come. I think Eddie has talked about this, Bijan has talked about this, that there was a lot of contracts that we have brokered that are very early on that a lot of streamers did not elevate their content because they were just getting paid regardless of what they were doing when they went live. KCIP does not do that, man. KCIP rewards you for the dragons that you slay.
So if, like, let's say the next 2 months I get 100 viewers, right? And then for the next 2 months after that, as you said, my content got boring, less people watched me, then my KCIP drops, right? Is it like ebb and flow? Like, let's say 1 month I did bad, so my KCIP dropped. The next month I did well, so that it actually lifts my rate back up to what it was. Or because I streamed bad and now I'm a crappy streamer, I gotta grind out at the lower levels for a couple of months until Kick give me back that rate.
No, like, without getting too much into, look, I think all of this has to be deciphered better on the dashboard. I think that we need to be telling you guys how to better grow your KCIP without giving out the secret recipe of our payout. Because I think that there are things that you have to protect within a company, or else you're just going to get, you're going to get funneled, right? To answer your question though, everyone has slumps. There are upside, and this happens on every platform, man. You will see people start tweeting about it all the time. Hey guys, the holiday season's coming up. It's going to be slow time. Hey guys, summer's coming up. It's going to be slow time. You as a creator needs to start thinking about, what am I going to be doing in July, August, and September when the slow months come? Am I going to be taking time off? Am I going to start saving for it now so that I can weather the storm then? Or am I going to create compelling content that's going to retain my viewers during those slow times? Everyone knows when those slow times are. Everyone knows when those slow times hit. Okay, so example, like, I hear a lot of people bitching about like hosting and raids. Well, when I get hosted, like that doesn't count towards it. No, what happens is that you're not retaining your raid or your host. You're not. There's a lot of creators out there that do not have a segment in their back pocket ready to go when they get hosted or rated. There's a lot of creators that don't have like a giveaway ready to go, or a shtick or a thing or like a singing. I'll give you an example. Steamy Streamers, when he gets hosted or rated, he has a song about it. He does like this complete vaudeville act to try to retain people, right? And then it's up to Steamy Streamers to say, you know what? That music bit that I'm doing actually falls flat. I need to adapt the content, right? My point in saying all this is that, yes, KCIP is going to ebb and flow with the amount of work that you put into your content. Is all your content going to hit? No, it's not going to hit. It's just like stand-up comedy. Like, you have to work through a joke for like 3 months before that joke hits, right? Sometimes you're going to get a winner, but if you get down on yourself, and I see this happen a lot of streamers, if they start clipping away on KCIP and then all of a sudden like their content starts to hit a lull, they start getting resentful and they start blaming everybody else but themselves. They'll blame the platform. They'll blame like the notifications aren't going out. They'll blame that a game did a certain update that totally. I saw this with a lot of Apex players. I saw this with a lot of COD players, where all of a sudden you have a streamer that is producing high level content that you have to compete with, where you're just playing COD, right? And so the website drastically changes also. Like day by day, we have new creators coming to the platform competing. How are you going to continue to stay competitive? So to answer your question, man, like it's a loaded question, because you are the master of your own domain and you have to look, and not only like KCIP, look how your TikTok performs. Look how your Instagram performs. Look how your YouTube performs. If you're making better revenue on your YouTube VOD, maybe you take a slight little break and keep making YouTube VODs. I'll give you a very good example. Lucci, right? Lucci is arguably a high-level, successful streamer. He has taken a small break from solely producing content on KCIP to do more content on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, on Instagram, because he's seeing a higher revenue stream there. And then he strategically uses KCIP and turns it on and brings that as a revenue stream, right? If you are a creator and you only have one revenue stream, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Why would you only bring in one revenue stream when there are so many platforms that give you the tools to bring in revenue? You have to be sophisticated enough where you look at all the tools and you say, I'm hot here right now, or I'm hot here right now, or I'm hot here right now. This is what I will say about Kick and KCIP. It is the best platform to push your audience. Because of the 95.5, if you have a hot chat going on in TikTok, why are you having them sub you on TikTok? You should be driving them to Kick, and you should be transparent with them and saying, I make more on Kick, guys. Why the hell are you like entertaining, a Twitch audience for a 50-50 ad revenue split when you could look at them and say, guys, I'm going to stream here for an hour and a half. We're going to put the kids to bed, and I'm going to take the 2,000 CCV here that I have here. I'm going to bring it over to Kick because, guys, I just get paid more under KCIP.
And like the chat activity, does it matter what it is? Like if everyone is posting like Patrick Downs repeatedly compared to like your chat now, people are asking questions. The rate of that KCIP, will it be the same? Or the guy who's got more emotes, he's getting a better KCIP?
Okay, so this is where my expertise on this goes away, all right? There's an entire KCIP team that monitors this and that adjusts these things. When I helped get KCIP up and going, we were not that sophisticated yet, all right, if that makes sense. Once KCIP got up and going, we hired people to monitor it, structure it, look at it under Eddie's guidance. I moved on to other things. I cannot say with 100% certainty if that is the case, what I'm saying. What I will say is this, is that every department has the lens of authenticity, all right? So if you're tabbing and every one of your tabs, you're just spamming Patrick Downs, why would anyone pay out for that? I'm not saying we aren't. What I'm saying is that from a business perspective, that's just stupid, right? That like we'll pay you for the one authentic, that is not tabbed up, that is not botted, that isn't clearly an AI algorithm. Like, well, we're looking for authenticity, right? But I hope I answered the question as best as I could there.
You're right. You did. And even your chat was talking about this. Would Kick ever have a Kick viewer incentive program?
Yes, I think that is smart. I think it's something that Paulie talked about very, very, very early on. We just do not have the tech to execute on something like that. But I think something along those lines that has channel points associated with a real cash out would be smart.
That'd be good to reward. And then what about like badges? Currently we have like the founder badge.
Our badge game sucks. Our badge game sucks. I think that we need to do a better job with like holiday badges or, life event badges or, we just need a badge for someone who's in KCIP, man. Like in my opinion, there should be a verified badge, a KCIP badge. And then like, let's say we come out with something like our own version of Nitro, right? I think that there should be a high roller badge, right? Someone who gifts to the community a lot. I think that they should get their own badge.
Yeah, true.
Our badge game is weak. We know that it's weak, and we need to do a better job at it. Our social media team has brought this up time and time again, and it's something that we just need to put a focus on that we have not.
Sure, because it gives incentives, More people will be like chasing those badges. They want the levels. They want the
and it's so
recognition.
It's so easy to do. That's the thing. It's so easy to do I think it should be community led too. Like I think Twitch got pegged with trying to make a badge with AI, using AI. Like I would much rather go after someone who's got like a really cool badge that tells a story on Kick and adapt that for like a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 like sub badge.
Makes sense. Okay, what else I gotta ask you? Okay, you just said opinion. What do you think about Ice Poseidon's events last year?
I love Ice Poseidon's events. I think that in my opinion, and we might have different opinion on this, is that I think ICE just needs to spend more money on the tech side and with research and development. Like let's take the Hunger Games. Like, incredible concept to have like vests that have like power levels on it, and every time you hit it, like, but those vests were like going out, right? Like every other time it got hit or someone got tackled, or like you just didn't run the vest through like, 4 or 5 weeks of like testing, where like, well, what happens if I full on tackle you to the ground? Does the vest break, and do I need to get you another one? And then how do I pick up on the health levels from that? As far as like the concept goes, and doing a Hunger Games out in Texas and doing that, I found it highly fascinating. I thought it was awesome. I think it's where IRL streaming meets like traditional like television, like Survivor, right? Like, but it's still scuffed where it's authentic, right? Where it's like not edited. I totally respect that. I think we could have gotten some night vision cameras, right? I don't want to sit here and, Monday morning quarterback his content. What I'm saying is that he has amazing ideas. I think we just need to help him a little bit more on the tech side, so that chat is more focused on what's happening on the screen and not calling out every single little thing that could be better. Chat's always going to do that, but there are some things that they have valid concerns around that I think we could do a better job around.
So like, this is my own question, would Kick ever have like a event team that like could like help Ice Poseidon?
Yeah, 100%.
Let's say you have people
I think
that are hired to do this job.
I think that's where the Kick series programming can come into play. Because here's the thing, man. Like, look, we want to find those diamonds in the rough, and we want to start backing them up. And that takes a team. So yes, the short answer is yes.
Yeah, because he has the good ideas, maybe the execution. So yeah.
Well, the other thing is like, guys like him, creators, people like that, they need to be creating, right? They need to keep creating. And the thing is that as the VOD world and the live streaming world continues to collide, you're going to have people from the VOD world who are going to just demand a different level of production, right? Because that's just what they're used to.
I know we talked about like the costs of the website, right? But would Kick ever have an option where we can save just one VOD on our channel, so when random people come by, they can see what we're all about? You think that'll be a possibility?
Dude, I've been lobbying for that for the last 2 years. Since there's got to be an intro video. There just has to be. There's got to be that. Here's the thing, like when you upload and house videos, that costs money, right? And the other thing is like you can go to YouTube for that. We are solely focused on live streaming. Now, is it an uploaded VOD? I don't know. Is it a featured clip? That's what I would like to see. I would like you to be able to put up a featured clip and have it just play as soon as you go on there, right? A clip that embodies who you are, right? Now, you could arguably run your reel, clip it, and then post it up there. But I personally want to reinvent what that space is for. I think it would be smart to have your best clip up there, right? As opposed to uploading a VOD. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do think it's too bare. Like when you click somebody's channel and there's just nothing there. So you are right. It's nice to have something playing there.
I agree. I 100% agree. It's something that I have, and Polly will attest to this. This is something that I have complained about. This is something that I've brought up. It is on our radar, but it's just, I do not control the roadmap for product where I can weigh in and I can influence. It's something that I think is needed.
See, Lorax is trying to get your attention in the chat.
Who is?
Andrew Lorax Santa Maria in your chat.
The irony of Roxy Foxy, OnlyFans streamer, live on front page right now. Thoughts? Look, I don't know that I can get into this. Again, we're going into e-boy territory. So I don't know your age. I don't know your intent. But let me see. Okay, so Roxy Foxy, all right? So when we see her title, she's not promoting her OnlyFans link. She's just chatting, man. She's just chatting. If you don't like the fact that she has an OnlyFans link, change the fucking channel.
You heard the man. You heard the man.
No, here's the
And
deal.
you-
Here's the
you-
deal. She's just chatting. She's not according on her title, it doesn't look like she's like heavily promoting her OnlyFans or trying to drive people off. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you know, change the fucking channel. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like if you don't like someone playing Call of Duty and you're against violence and gore and someone's head getting blown off and the depiction of that, change the fucking channel. It's the same thing that I would tell that person. If you don't like someone's political view, if you don't like that they talk about left-wing content, if you don't like that they talk about conspiracy theories, if you don't like the fact that they talk about communism, change the fucking channel. I want to be clear as day as this, but to come in here and brigade someone because of the content, the platforms that they choose to associate themselves with, like, you got to find something else to do with your life. That's it. Like, that's all I got for you. Like, I want to be clear as day. Change the fucking channel. Just change the channel. But don't come with this e-boy nonsense because it's very 2014.
I mean, Eddie said Kick has 50% woman. Is that real?
That's real,
Kick
man.
has 50% woman.
That's
Wow,
real.
That's crazy.
It's real. Like we have, and that's the thing. The thing is that look, if we want to be like for real about it all, like these e-boys that come in and start complaining about it, they're watching it, they're sustaining it. And here's the other thing.
I mean,
we have a fourth of those creators. Like there's so many more of those creators on other platforms. Our pool section is dwarf compared to other platforms.
I mean, if I clip any female streamer, my own chat calls me goon clips.
Yeah, it's this weird thing. It's like if a girl is playing a first person shooter or they're just chatting and giving their opinion, it's like you have to be more secure in yourself. Change the channel. Just change the channel. That's all I got for you. Like, quit giving it attention.
I get you.
Yeah.
These are. I also have other questions, but these are things you've answered so many times.
Yeah.
Like the API. Again, you're not the developer. I know you're going to say this to me, but like again, just in general, right? Do you think the API would come this year, or do you want it to be? That's better. That's a better
I
way of
wanted
saying
the
it.
API out legitimately 8 months ago. I will say this. We do have an API team. It is a team that I helped put together. There was a point internally where I was just like, we have to set aside budget. We have to roadmap this. We have to game plan this. We have to bring on people that are solely responsible for API. And we have executed on that. So over the last, I would say 3.5, 4 months, we have put together a team. We also have a roundtable of creators that are weighing in on the API. And I think Pike is part of that. Arrow Kick is part of that. Mr. Boost is part of that. Stream Elements team is part of that. Stream Labs team is part of that, where they just kick holes through what we're developing on the back end for the API. What I will say was it will be much more robust than just an API, and it will be released in phases. I will say that we are on the horizon of our first phase of seeing API integration with other platforms. I'm not going to give specific dates, But I'm very excited with the timetable. It is on the horizon, and I think a lot of people will be very excited to see this integration take place. And then subsequently, the game plan is a couple time frame after that, we're going to be releasing more and more, and you will see a very different API from us than other platforms. We want to differentiate how we work with third-party developers.
Yeah, because see, like someone said in the chat, like the bits, the channel points, those will be such like
Dude,
nice
it's such a
things,
fucking
you
game
know?
changer. You have no, yes, you're fucking preaching to the choir. Hell, just another method of payment outside of Stripe.
And it's a currency that moves around, you know? So yeah, you're right. It's a good idea. What about crypto? I think Eddie answered this question. Like, would Kick ever pay people in crypto?
Look, I think we moved away from crypto because we did not want to be associated with a crypto casino. And I think it was Eddie and Bajan's attempt, or not attempt, like they flat out like are dead serious that this is a live streaming platform. Like so much so that they're removed the one thing that people could call them out on, right? And I give them a lot of props and respect to that. I think that we are in a very different place with crypto than we were 2 years ago. I think crypto has become much more stable. I think it's become much more accepted. I think that certain governments around the world are starting to recognize crypto as a viable way of, you know, exchanging for goods. I think crypto is in a very different place. Would I be open to it? Yeah. I think it's become much more mainstream. The reason why we didn't do crypto and we removed the wallet, I think we had a wallet for like the first like month on Kick, but we removed it, is to show the public that we are dead serious, that this is not Stake 2.0, that this is a live streaming platform. Let me say one other thing about that. Like what Bajan and Eddie and these guys are building over in Melbourne, like is akin to what Google has with all of their properties, akin to what Amazon has with all their properties. They're building out their portfolio where they have EasyGo, and then EasyGo is an umbrella arcing company that has Stake, that has Kick, and they've acquired like 3 other companies that I don't know too much about. But what I'm saying is that these guys are so much more than just crypto casino. Like just like Jeff Bezos is so much more than shipping books out of his garage, right? Like Jeff Bezos morphed into other areas, into Amazon Music, into Audible, into Alexa, into technology, into selling data, into buying IMDb, into getting Twitch, into doing Prime Video, all those things. That's really the aim of EasyGo, man. Like that's their aim. So while we're like hyper focused on like, oh, is this a crypto funnel, or is this or is this that? Like these guys have so much bigger fish to fry that they can't just get hung up on not doing things the right way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the reason I asked you is because like when PayPal appeared on Kick, it was so nice that one day I went and like gifted subs and stuff. And again, this is not for all the people, but just from my side, like streamers usually pay you in crypto. And like even when you do clipping in these organizations, you get paid in crypto. Like everything is crypto except Kick for me at the moment.
Yeah, right. So there's one comment. God, where'd it go? My chat was moving. I missed it, man. I don't know. His name's Zen something. I don't know if you can repost it, but like green neon lights in a 50-year-old man's kitchen is all you need to know. I guess so, Zen Zombie. LED lights in the kitchen at 50 years old kind of says all you need to know. So at 50 years old, what should I have? I'm just curious, Zen Zombie. What do I need to have in my background? Like a crochet set, or what says 50 for you? What can I have? Like what would be like suitable for you, Zen Zombie? Give me.
Do you ever get tired?
What's that?
Like, do you ever get tired? Do you ever get tired? Because like this, what you're going through now is actually the front page. Usually, when people get front page, they get trolled. Like I know another smaller creator. His name is Bill ZM.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to quit Kick, like I think like a month ago, and he streamed on here for like 9 months. He is always like front page, front page, front page,
You
front
don't need to
page.
be streaming.
And he was like,
You don't need to be streaming. You don't need to be streaming if that's the attitude. If like the world is brutal. The world's brutal. And the world is even more brutal when you have someone who can say bullshit behind a keyboard and have zero repercussions, right? You just got to realize like it's nothing personal. You just need to turn them into content, right? Like I genuinely want to know what Zen Zombie wants me to have in my background because maybe I'll switch it up, right?
fire back, send zombie, fire back.
Yeah. So my point is that you got to have fun with it. Look, Kick needs to have better tools where if Zen Zombie is coming in here saying something absolutely malicious, that I can just ban him and he can't see my clips. He can't see my VOD. It's going to be very hard for him to make another account and come in here and keep trolling. I think that everyone's tolerance is different. We need to have an AI moderation tool. I think in my personal opinion, does a pretty good job of filtering that. But we need to have better tools where you can run the kind of chat that you want. Do I have fun with trolls? Yeah. Are a lot of trolls, like I would say the majority of people who watch me when I stream are trolls. Once you get past the trolling and you ask genuine questions, these guys actually bring some good stuff to the table. They can act like Zen Zombie could be like the ultimate like streamer room, like fashionista, and I might be overlooking him, right? But I genuinely just need to ask him, like, how would he like decorate my room? And if I just get mad about him trolling me, then I might be missing out,
I get you. To keep. I get you. Opinions on Monkey App. Do you think Monkey App is good? Because that's all we see in the clips.
I'll give you an example. I think what fucking someone like, someone who's called us out using Monkey App, Something About Chickens. All right. Something About Chickens does amazing content. He does amazing content on Monkey App. He's hilarious. His stuff is well articulated. Are there people that use Monkey App for absolutely heinous content? Yes. So I'm torn between that, right? Like the technology is amazing. And I think it can do a lot of amazing good and it can do a lot of amazing content. The problem I have is why isn't Monkey App or any of these chat roulette places doing a better job of policing themselves? Like, why does it fall on Twitch? Why does it fall on Kick? Why does it fall like if something horrendous, like, okay, when the Riot LOL story came out, like there's no one front facing to report that behavior to on a place like Monkey, right? There's no conversation. Same thing with Discord, man. Like the kind of bullshit that happens when people pick up their chat and move it to a private server on Discord, that's what like I am like highly concerned with, because like once you remove it on Kick, it's still happening on Discord. And when we try to reach out like to a place like Discord or a place like Monkey, it's like it's very hard to work with these other companies and saying, hey, this person is consistently talking to minors and doing malicious things. Can you please start to police your own platform so that we don't keep getting pinged for it, right? I think we need to spread the responsibility around.
But what about like when a person pretends to be underage and then you get banned because they said they're 16 or something?
I think that there is a fine line distinction between that. I think that if they say that they're 16 and you keep platforming it and you just move along, you're not going to get pinged. But if they say that they're 16 and there's like a reasonable doubt that they are or they're not, you're just better off skipping. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Like see, this I differ from you. Like I'm in a very tough situation because I enjoy watching Action Man when he does Monkey Up streams, but at the same time, I see so many headlines about the Monkey Up. I know that if that was patched,
But why would you?
you'd have
Why would if
less.
someone said that they were 16 and they're lying? Why would you hang out?
You shouldn't. Yeah, that
You
is
shouldn't. Why?
damn right.
Why? You should just keep going. Like I don't care how articulate or smart this 14-year-old is. Like like keep moving. I don't care if you're 18. I don't care if you just turned 18 and this person is 14 and you're close in age. Like you're just better off skipping through. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Just skip on by.
Yeah, man. That's I just stay away from Monkey Up. I'll be honest with you. I just don't. I just stay away from
You
it.
know, Abs came on Kick Talk not too long ago, and he said that we should just get rid of that entire category completely.
I'm just saying, if you look at YouTube and you look at Twitter, at the clips that tried to take down Kick, it was mainly Monkey Up, and it still is. Like I'm every day, if I just went through Monkey Up stuff as a clipper, as somebody who posts on Twitter, I can easily just farm things from Kick where it was based on Monkey Up.
Yeah. Hey, so just a heads up, I think I got about 10 more minutes before I got to go IRL and hang out with my
Okay.
kids and all that stuff.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done anyway. What else? What else? What else? You talked about that. Talked about that. Dude, I think I'm almost done. I think I asked everything I could. I mean, you already answered this as well, though.
What's that?
You should take some questions from your chat. Take some questions from your chat.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything that you like?
As I said, like I do like that the front page now has people that I actually clip. Before they never used to be there. So that is good.
Okay.
And
So
I like these IPs as well.
MJ Skip, let's do this one. Every week you tell us that you don't have the answer to a lot of questions. Why don't you write down those questions and get the damn answer? You are the king of passing the buck. All right, so MJ Skip, a very articulate question from MJ Skip. I do not run Kick solely, okay? There are many different departments. Let's take product, all right? I am not going to speak on behalf of a grown professional that is paid to develop products and communicate that. There are a lot of processes as a company grows where they're just not going to share shit with you. They're just not going to share shit with you. Whether that is whoever's running moderation, whoever's running product, whoever's running verification, whoever's running any of the number of departments that they have. I don't agree that I pass the buck. I tell you my opinion and I tell you what I know. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to step on colleagues. I'm not going to ruin colleagues' marketing plans. I'm not going to ruin colleagues' launch plans. I'm not going to ruin this idea, and I'm going to be respectful to my colleagues. Is the big thing that you're saying. Can I go back and get answers? Yes, 100%. Do we chop this up and do we game plan these episodes? Yes. We go back and we clip it, we look at it, we say, what can we communicate here? What can't we communicate here? And there's just some shit that departments don't want to say things on because we've gotten in the snag in the past of giving dates or saying certain things. The other thing is that around moderation, like we do communicate with streamers. 9 times out of 10, streamers know what the hell it is, what's up. They know what they're doing wrong, right? So sometimes it's just questions that I've answered like 500 times over, right? Now, if you want to go back and watch my VODs, go for it. Go for it, all right? But I'm not going to spoon feed a troll that comes in here and ask asinine questions around the development of a company that don't know what that entails, right? That don't understand that. One other thing is I want you to point out any other platform that allows their CEO or any other employee to come out and be transparent and answer questions. I hope I answered your question. Do you see another one?
I'd rather you choose it because they all are ad
TX, you need to look into the moderation team more because there certainly isn't the warning system you were talking about earlier. Still, for many, far too many just got banned for stupid things. All right, so I know that our moderation team is in here. Guys, if we could look into where we're at with warning system over small little things, where we are with like stopping a stream or talking with a creator after the stream has stopped, and not just like pulling them off. I would love to like regroup on that. I know our moderation team is in here, so it will get to our head of moderation, and I can check in on that because I know that as something that we discussed in Serbia, and it's something that should be happening. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. Now, I will preface this, TX, by saying there are just some things that are going to get pulled. There are just some things that are going to get banned because we just don't, no platform wants to F with it, right? If that makes sense. Jith 1191. Hey, Santa Maria, can you please check my previous message and answer my question, please? Let's see what your previous question was.
Oh, that's a good question.
All right. Hey, Santa, can you please answer my question? One of the streamers that I watch has monkeys on stream. They're basically his pets, but he just gets view botted because some people think he's being offensive to the monkeys and stuff because they're in cages. When they don't know the truth and these view bots are basically attached to his channel, what should we do about it overall? So I don't know who you're talking about, but that's insane. Listen, I watched this, was it on Netflix? It's called like Chimp Crazy. And dude, like the stuff that a monkey can do to you is fucking ridiculous. They can like literally rip your face off and eat it in front of you. So it's wild that this person's, hopefully they just keep them in cages, first of all. But this person, this creator should be reporting every time they get botted. If they're getting botted, they need to report it on the 24/7 dash, right? Report. But that's all I can say about that. But look, as far as like organic viewers, like this is what you also need to understand. Because we remove inorganic viewers doesn't mean that the work that you've put in for your organic viewers goes away. Look, if you're getting botted 300 CCV and you only have 80 people in your chat, you only got 80 people in your chat. You can just sit there and say, well, I'm getting botted 300 and I'm pissed off. Or you can go out and clip content and you can drive organic traffic and you can raise your 80 viewers to 100. Like you need to be more focused on your organic traffic and stop blaming it on inorganic traffic, if that makes sense. Did I answer the question? I hope I did.
Someone asked, what do you think about Party? The streaming app Party.
I don't know. Is it kind of like a live space or like a DLive? Is it a streaming platform?
It's like it does a whole lot of crypto, and then it's got one section where they do live streaming, and you can gift. Pretty much their thing is they use crypto to pay their streamers. Like that's the gimmick.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think anyone that comes into the market and does it seriously, like, I think it's healthy for the market. So yeah, I don't have an opinion of them. Like let's say Live Space that kind of stuck around for a while. I think some of the features that they rolled out was really good. Is everything that was done on that platform the way I would have done it? No, but they had a good run of it. Like Chiswick. Chiswick is another platform that came out in your area, right? I love their UI, man. I think it's clean. I love their, their currency that they have on there. I think that they've done a lot of smart things on there. What I have realized is that it really is all about community. Dan Clancy is right. Like, Twitch has the community, and that's something that you cannot buy. That is something that is earned. That is something that is developed. And I think that that's why we do things like Kick Talk, because we recognize that establishing a community on Kick is priority number one, because it's what sustains the platform.
I mean, yes, I appreciate what you did today, that I was able to come here and ask everything. I freaking made a document for this, so yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate you coming in and like talking about clipping and talking about like, I think that that's one thing that I really want people to realize is like, clipping is an art, and it's something that is continuing to be developed. And it is a tool that creators use to get their narrative out there, to get exposure, to get it out there. But I will say one thing about clipping. I do not think it's something that you should rely on to build a solid brand, because I think that it's wavering. I think that you're going to always be running on ice if you're constantly trying to be this clip machine where you desensitize your people. Eventually, you're going to have to come with real content. You can't, there's so many people that you can chew out. There's so many times you can get arrested. There's so many outrageous things that you can do to clip farm where you're going to be a thought. You're going to be the next clip. You're not going to be relevant. You're not going to have a sustainable community, in my opinion. I think clipping is a tool for you, just like TikTok, just like Instagram, just like what. But if you're not concentrated on your content and building your community and being authentic, I think you're fucked.
I mean, the community that I was building on in Kick, a lot of them don't know anything about VTubing. They just think it's weird. And slowly, I'm slowly changing their minds. Slowly.
Yeah, man. I think thank you for doing that, man. I really appreciate like the branding that you went out with. I know you're rebranding on the recaps. I think that is very smart. I think that you should be getting your content on all platforms. Thank you for asking like really tough questions. And I promise you, man, we're going to get you back on when Eddie's around, because I think Eddie would have a lot to weigh in on all of this, like, because clipping is a new tool. Well, it's not a new tool, but it's a tool that I think is becoming more and more mainstream, and becoming more sophisticated. So I appreciate like the content you make. I appreciate that you clip us on bullshit as fast as you'll clip us on praising us, right? Like you're genuinely unbiased with the clipping you do. But the main reason I brought you on here is because you level up your content just a little bit more. Like, you're not just clipping, you are creating live streaming content, you're creating a narrative, and you're trying to build a brand for yourself outside of clipping.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so yeah, that is it. So pretty much like in the future, I just want to show like Eddie and you how I can lift up the quality of what I'm doing. I said this before, in April, I'm gonna build a desktop setup, all because of Kick, by the way. Like, if I didn't start streaming on Kick, I wouldn't have like taken this thing seriously over my actual job. It's gotten to that level. So you'll see in April. I'll literally show you the proof in April.
Can't wait to see it, man. Hey, and one other thing before we let you go, man. Like, chat is saying that if I don't call you cute, that that they're gonna riot. This model that you have is absolutely cute, man. And you've totally leveled up. The wings are absolutely adorable.
Man, we can even change color for them if they want.
Brilliant. Hey, listen, guys. I'm gonna sign off with Kick Clips here, man. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, Kick Clips. Is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
No, I just want to say, yeah, chat. You guys were really good in the chat. I know some of you are trolling as well, but yeah, today was a good talk. I was happy we were able to ask as many questions as we could. And yeah, man, just be happy. Tomorrow, guys, tomorrow Aiden Ross is back on Kick. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Just check your timelines. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, Aiden's coming back. We're all excited about that. Listen, thank you, chat, for asking tough questions. Kick Clips, thank you for coming in. I'm going to let you know Eddie's going to be out next weekend also, so you guys are stuck with me. He will be back the following weekend. Thank you so much for, Eddie says this all the time. Thank you so much for being interested in this. Thank you so much for coming here and voicing your opinion. And partaking in this, all the questions. We try to take them all, and we try to engage as much as possible. So everyone, the moderators, thank you for coming in here. Kick staff watching, we love you guys. Guys, we just love streaming, and that's flat out, man. So Kick Clips, thanks again, man. And I'm interested to see what you cull out of this episode. And what goes viral for you, man. Thanks so much.